My deaf girlfriend got a hearing assist dog, but the dog keeps alerting her to sounds that aren't there. My girlfriend Anaya had to wait nearly a year before finally getting matched with an energetic black lab named Trixie. But there were problems with our specially trained hearing dog from the get-go. How a hearing assist dog is supposed to work. Someone knocks at the front door, and the dog informs the owner, in this case my girlfriend Anaya, by nudging her wet nose into her owner's leg. "What?" Anaya asks, spreading her hands. "Where?" Then the clever dog leads her to the source of the sound. Properly trained, a good hearing dog can alert its owner to the microwave, oven timer, doorbell, smoke alarm, any sound she's trained to recognize. Trixie the black lab, we were assured, was one of the brightest dogs to ever come out of her training program. But she was a little too bright because she developed an unusual habit, alerting to sounds before they happened. The first time, I was sitting on the sofa typing on my laptop when Trixie's head came up, ears perked, telltale signs of an impending alert. She raced over to Anaya, tail wagging, and nudged her, then led her to the front door. I frowned, because I definitely didn't hear any knocking or the bell. Anaya dutifully looked out the peephole and then turned to Trixie and scolded, "No!" She walked back to me and sighed. "False alert. She gave me one this morning while you were in the shower too." False alerts can be a problem with hearing dogs, alerting to sounds that just aren't there, hoping to get treats. But Trixie just stood by the door and whined, stubbornly, as if insisting she was a good dog who'd done her job. I was about to suggest to Anaya we contact the assistance dog organization for advice when, ding dong, I almost jumped out of my seat. "There's someone at the door," I told Anaya. Trixie wagged her tail as we both hurried over, her tongue lolling in a puppy smile as we opened the door to find a UPS driver holding a package, and a FedEx notice on the door as well. After pulling the notice off the door, Anaya turned to me. Gosh, maybe it wasn't a false alert this morning. Maybe she just alerted me too early, like now. She must have heard the package carrier's footsteps on the sidewalk, I guessed. I marveled at Trixie. Man, she's got phenomenal hearing. "Guess that's why they call them hearing dogs," joked Anaya. We gave Trixie her treat and told her good girl, and she ran a few triumphant circles before fixing us again with that doggy smile. From then on, every alert came early. Some of them made sense with her insanely good hearing. Or, as in the case of the smoke alarm she alerted Anaya to a minute before it went off. Possibly it was due to her sensitive nose picking up the burning of the French toast. But the oven timer? How was she able to alert early to that? The phone ringing? Anaya seemed unconcerned. She simply declared that Trixie was a very special dog. But I found Trixie's early alerts to border on the uncanny. It was as if she was hearing the sounds before they happened. And then came yesterday. Anaya was called into a work meeting, and since her boss has severe allergies to dogs, she left Trixie at home with me. I was sitting at the table on my laptop, working on some reports when I felt a wet nose nudge my leg. I got up to ask Trixie what the sound was. Even though I'm not deaf, it's still a good idea to give Trixie the consistent practice. And she led me to the door, where I stood, fully expecting to hear a knock or the bell in about a minute. Then Trixie growled. For context, I'd never heard her growl before. She makes lots of sounds. Whimpers, yips, and funny moans like she's talking. But she's a very good-natured pup and doesn't have a vicious bone in her body. Yet now she stood tense, head down and tail lowered, the hackles along her back raised, lips curled to show sharp teeth. She continued to stare straight at the door, as if it weren't there and she could see right through it. And suddenly it struck me that whatever made her growl like that would be here at the door in seconds. Panic hit me. I snatched Trixie by the collar and dragged her with me into our hidden closet under the staircase, the one we call our Harry Potter closet. I whispered to Trixie, "Lie down and quiet." A soft growl continued to emanate from her, but I put my hand on her and she quieted until she was almost inaudible, though I could still feel the vibrating deep in her body. There was the jingle of keys in a lock, and the front door opened. Footsteps. The cadence of those footsteps sounded like Anaya. But Trixie's low growl persisted. There was a small hole in the paneling of the stair closet, and I tried to peep through it, but all I could make out was a vague figure in the front entryway. Then the figure moved. The footsteps went up the stairs, thump, 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 into our bedroom, and the door closed. I heard the creak of the bed as Anaya, or someone else, laid down for a nap. My heart would not slow. Trixie was still growling. I heard her lick her lips in the dark. But why? If it was Anaya? I sent a quick text. "Me. Hey, where are you? Anaya. Home, you? Relief flooded my system. I almost came out then, but Trixie's soft whine stopped me. So I looked at my phone and hit the call button. I just needed to see my girlfriend signing on a video call, or hear her voice. Upstairs, a merry jingle rang. Trixie jolted at the familiar ringtone. It was one of the sounds she was trained to alert to. Her nose dipped as if to nudge me, but then instead she licked her lips and stood still. For some reason she didn't want to alert. Why wasn't Anaya picking up? After the call went unanswered, I sat for a moment, and then my phone vibrated with a text. Anaya. Hey Anaya, where are you? I remained still, heart hammering, trying to decide what to do, when suddenly Trixie lunged past me, slamming into the panel door and bursting out from under the staircase. Hey, I hissed, darting after her. But instead of running upstairs, Trixie ran straight to the front door. She scratched and pawed at the door as there came a knock, and a voice from outside called, Hello? Rosie, I lost my purse. My phone and keys were in there. Can you open the... At the same time, just overheard, the bed creaked as someone stood. Footsteps thumped rapidly across the floor. I yanked open the door and lunged out. Anaya stood startled on the front steps, and I snatched her hand, dragging her with me into a run. Trixie ran beside us. What's going on? Cried Anaya. There's someone in the house. I gasped as we pelted up the block. We didn't stop until we spotted a neighbor walking his dog. I fumbled with my phone and called the police and told them, frantic, out of breath, that someone was in our house. A stranger with a key in the upstairs bedroom. I signed as I spoke, and Anaya's eyes on me widened. Police arrived in a few minutes, but when we went back inside and searched upstairs and down, we found no trace of any intruder. Just Anaya's phone left by the bed. It had no one's fingerprints but her own. Nor had we seen anyone leave the house after our escape.